Curt Cignetti and Rhett Lashley taking some shots at the SEC. I think that's something everybody would like to see more of a little bit, but we're going to talk about that today and what some of the answers are that college football needs to get to and in a hurry today on Between Ears. Hello, everybody, and welcome into another episode of Between the Ears. I'm Skylar Callahan, and we greatly appreciate you guys tuning in. Before you start, to make sure you hit that like and subscribe button here on our channel at West Virginia on SI. If you're new to the show, we record and have episodes up every Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday throughout the football season. And once we get to football season, Sunday's episode is going to be the same every single week. It's going to be rehashing what happened on Saturday, and it'll be dubbed the day after or the morning after. It'll be up bright and early in the morning. Now, in the event that there's a game that happens on, say, like a Thursday or Friday, which BYU could be a Friday night game, that show will be moved to Saturday. So we'll make sure to have that out right there for you here on this channel. We'll also have the Mountaineer post-game show. So you don't want to miss it. Hit that subscribe button. You'll get the noti as soon as an episode drops. So probably a lot of West Virginia fans, I'm just going to assume here that they're not really paying attention to SEC or ACC or Big Ten media days, and I get it. There's really no point. I mean, even for West Virginia, I mean, the Big 12 media days are about the same thing every single year. It's kind of a bore fest, if you will. It's just an opportunity for them to go have some nice dinners and kind of drum up some excitement, but it's really kind of laid back. Not a whole lot's being revealed. But every now and then, you'll have a coach, or in this case two, say some things that starts populating headlines everywhere. And I thought this was a great conversation to have today because you have two Power Four coaches making some kind of shots at the SEC, and I'm all here for it. But it's not all SEC hate here today. We're going to talk about why the SEC and everybody else needs to get on the same page. But before we do that, Curt Cignetti, Indiana head coach, former West Virginia Mountaineer. What he said really got people talking. And basically what he said was that the Hoosiers are adopting an SEC philosophy or approach. I don't remember the exact wording or phrasing he used there, but they're adopting the SEC schedule out of the league is what he was referencing. The SEC plays 9 conference games. The Big Ten plays 8. Or excuse me. The SEC plays 8 conference games. The Big Ten plays 9, like the Big 12. The SEC has been a league that has been known to schedule fairly weak out of the conference for quite a while now. But they're also a league that's not afraid to play in some of these bigger week 1 games that you see out there. It's every year you see a huge Big Ten SEC matchup, a Big Ten, Big 12, Big Ten, ACC matchup, or excuse me, SEC. I'm getting all confused here, but SEC, you get the point. And they're not afraid of those types of games. So I can't get fully on board with what Signetti's saying here, but at the same time, I do agree. The SEC for years has played an FCS opponent like in week 12, week 13, whatever it is. And while the rest of the country is trying to hang on another week and survive another week in a daunting schedule in their league, the SEC essentially gets an easy win in November. And look, people can make this argument, and I've heard the argument before that does it really matter because if you're playing the FCS team anyway, what's the difference if you play them in September versus November? You're in the middle of a tough, brutal schedule in which teams know you in and out. And all of a sudden you get a break in championship November to go play Chattanooga, the Citadel, Samford, Gardner Webb. No disrespect to all these schools, but come on. We're in November. Let's strap it up, buckle the chin straps tight. Let's play some big boy football. It's November. Why are we playing cupcakes in November? That should not happen. You could make the case that FBS teams at the Power Four level should never play cupcakes. And maybe that's something that happens later on down the road. Maybe we get to a point where if you're a Power Four team, guess what? It's like the NFL. You're playing 12 Power Four games, where in the NFL, you don't get to go down a level and play somebody from the CFL or the UFL or something stupid like that. You play everybody in your league. And in that case, the Power Four, that's, considered to be its own little league. So maybe that's not a bad idea. But going back to Curt Cignetti here, if you don't know what happened, aside from his quote, what generated the quote was that the Indiana dropped a home and home series. I believe it was 27 in 2028. Yes, 2027 and 2028 with Virginia to go on with this adopting of the SEC schedule or model or whatever. In their place, they they put on the schedule home games against Kennesaw State in 2027, who is freshly new to the FBS, by the way, and Austin Peay. Just think about that for a second. They were so concerned about not being able to take care of business against Virginia. Virginia. This isn't Alabama. It's not Ohio State, even though they got to play them in Big Ten. But you get what I'm saying here. The level of that, it's not a USC. It's not a Florida. It's not even a North Carolina. It's Virginia. They're axing that series, footing the bill for it so they can get 2 more wins. I mean, their future schedule is. I would hate to be an Indiana fan. I mean, my goodness, talk about a snooze fest. Here are their upcoming schedules in terms of just the non-conference this year: Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, Indiana State. 2026, Colorado State, Western Kentucky. They got to get a third one. 27, Kennesaw State, Indiana State, UMass. 28, Austin Peay, Eastern Michigan. 29, Ball State, Eastern Illinois, Western Kentucky. 2030, Notre Dame in Delaware. 2031, the Notre Dame game in Bloomington. And then 2032, UConn. Something tells me that Notre Dame game, their series could be in danger, even though they're in-state rivals. But if we throw Notre Dame out of the mix because they're not even a fully fledged Power Four ACC member, they're kind of half tied to them. They don't have a single Power Four team on the schedule between now and 2032. That's ridiculous. I mean, if they're doing this and getting away with it, or if they get away with it, I should say, speaking into the future, why doesn't everybody else do it? And I hate to say this, but why would West Virginia do it? Even with the backyard brawl, like I am all for it. The backyard brawl should be played every single year, but at the same time, you're risking the chance of losing a game. We shouldn't be doing this, folks. Like this, you should be playing a challenging schedule from start to finish. That's what this is for, to get these kids better for the next level. Why? And it's also making it tough on the college football playoff committee. I don't understand why we have all of these Power Four schools and every single one of them are playing different types of schedules. You got one that might be playing 2 Power Four out of conference. You may have one or some that plays 1 out of conference Power Four. You may have some like Indiana that don't play any. Why are we doing this? You have some that might be even playing three. Very, very few, select few. There was somebody I saw scheduled the other day. I'm pretty sure they had 11 of 12 Power Five games, and I can't remember who the 12th one was, but it was either like a really strong group of six, or maybe it was Notre Dame. I can't remember, but insanity. Now, Rhett Lashley, the SMU head coach, he took his shot at SMU and basically said, or at the SEC, and said that because Alabama and Georgia have won national titles, that that doesn't mean the SEC has depth, and that the ACC is just as good and all this other crap. Yeah. ACC's not, buddy. Like, I'm sorry, it's the same exact thing, maybe even at a worse degree than the SEC, because the ACC has been riding the coattails of Clemson for an X amount of years. Was Florida State. Not necessarily the case now. And I'm not a huge SEC guy myself, but SEC's got some more big time teams in that league than the ACC. Maybe triple the amount, quadruple the amount. But I'm here for getting some sort of an alignment, because you can't have so many different teams taking so many different avenues to try and get to the college football playoff. The easiest way, and sometimes, folks, I think we challenge ourselves way too hard, or we make things way more challenging than it needs to be. Simplify the damn thing. It's not that hard. Every Power Four team should get one FCS game, one Group of Six game, one Power Four game out of conference. The other 9 games have to go against your conference opponents. So, SEC, sorry, step it up. Play one extra conference game. And I don't want to hear the arguments that the SEC is tougher, because guess what? There's going to be a year at some point in time. The SEC is not just going to be the greatest conference in football forever. It is in a historical run right now, and odds are it's going to continue that way for a little while. But there's going to be a year naturally where the SEC takes a step back, and maybe it's a 2 or 3 year window. In that window, should the rest of the college football nation just give in and say, you know what? Yeah, you guys can continue playing one less game because you're tougher, right? And we're going to give you extra college football playoff bids because you're tougher. No. Go out there, own it. That's the conference you chose to be in. Suck it up. You want to win? You want to get to the college football playoff? Win more games. Same goes for everybody else. If we have this type of scheduling, it's going to make it so much easier for the playoff committee. It's going to make it a lot easier on the athletic directors to understand what the blueprint is to get to the CFP. You got to schedule an FCS, a Group of Six, and a Power Four. Go fill the slots. In the scheduling 10 years out, it's always been a thing in football, at least for quite a while, it seems like. It's absurd. And for those that are out there that say, oh, you have to schedule that far out, no, you don't. No, you don't. Go back to COVID. Games were being scheduled a week in advance. Do we not remember this? There was games that were getting canceled during the 2020 season, and then during that week of a game being canceled, a team's opponent for the next week may have already said, hey, we're not going to be able to play next week because we don't have enough guys, and they would go out and find somebody else. So if you can find somebody on a whim like that, why are we scheduling games 8 to 10 years in advance when you have no idea who's going to be good, who's going to be bad? I mean, come on. Let's do this thing year by year. College basketball does it, and I know it's a different sport. Maybe be a little bit of an apples and orange comparison there, but still, they do it on a yearly basis, and they schedule a heck of a lot more games than football. College football teams They have 3, maybe 4 non-conference games a year that they have to schedule. The league takes care of the greater portion of their schedule every single year. So we need 10 years to figure out 3 opponents? Come on. It's ridiculous. But the main point of this episode is, again, there has to be alignment. There has to be something where the SEC, the Big Ten, the ACC, and the Big 12 are all on the same accord with the scheduling. You cannot be playing Chattanooga or UT Martin or Long Island or Bryant or whoever on November 19th. You just can't be doing that. That's not good for the game. It's not good for the kids. It's not good for, competitive fairness when we're talking about, again, there could be 2 Big 12 games where you got 4 teams that are conceivably CFP contenders, and they're going to not, one of them's going to get knocked out, or 2 of them's going to get knocked out that weekend because they're playing each other. Meanwhile, Georgia's beating the brakes off of North Carolina A&T. Like, what are we doing? I don't know. It's something that's bothered me for years. The SEC versus FCS and November thing, that's really, really up there on my cannot stand things in college football. And probably not too far from that is the fact that the SEC plays only 8 conference games. Come on. Play 9. It's not that much of a difference. And if you want to get to the CFP, and if you have this big thing that the SEC is harder, again, win games, recruit better, coach better, develop better, get more resources. Like, you have more resources than anybody in college football. You have no argument. You get more money than anybody in college football with the TV deals. You have no argument. You have everything you need to be successful. If you don't win enough games, that's on you. That's not because you played 1 extra game in the SEC, whether it was, we had to play Kentucky instead of Chattanooga. Come on, guys. Let's go. Woo! Fired up today, boys and girls. It has been it's been a fun one. So let me know what you guys think in the comments section here on YouTube about what you would do, and if you think that college football across the board should go to 9 conference games. What do you think about the scheduling? I when I do ask for these comments at the end of these episodes, I do go back and read through them. Some of them are funny and interesting. Some of them it brings new ideas to me that I've never really thought before. So I enjoy going through them. Please drop your comments here on our YouTube page, and make sure you hit that like and subscribe button here as well at West Virginia on SI. That's going to do it for me here today. We will be back on Sunday with another episode, and we'll get things turned as we get closer and closer to fall camp. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Skylar Callan. We'll be back here on Sunday. Take care.